In order to lure God back to us, we must come up to an agreement on how to run the human world. What are our thoughts?
God has abandoned us for many reasons, but some of the worst atrocities he witnessed were issues of diversity. The things he witnessed were slavery, conflict of and between religions, different sexualities, and different political groups.
Different political groups, whether they're Republican or Democratic, are needed in order to fit the needs of the different groups of people that we have in America. All people should be protected under the government, whether they are black or white, gay or straight, male or female, etc.
I agree that all people should be protected, since having such a diverse group of people in society is beneficial. I just think that the branches of government favor specific people when they should look out for all people.
The people vote for their leaders, so essentially, the political party in office represents the majority of people's needs, which is fair. Our founding fathers originally warned us against factions, or political parties, but eventually they found them necessary for political organization and mobilization.
I believe that the economy is at the root of the problems we have today. A stable world economy is crucial for peace in the world.
But what's peace without safety? We need a government in order to protect our people. What else would maintain law and order? When questioning who takes care of who, I know for a fact that the government must take care of the people.
Exactly. Order is needed, but not simply government. Religion needs to be the main focal point of this new world. Religion is the highest form of government and must stay that way. Humans must not lose their way.
But will religion alone protect us from tyranny? Religion won't protect us from threats outside of the country, which is why the government is the most important. Morally and logically, the government has every responsibility to protect its citizens.
Order is needed in all aspects of the world. Economies are often destroyed by immorality. Humans need to act ethically. This morality must be shaped by order within society.
What better way than letting religion guide them into the right path? Economies can be strong or weak, but religion will always remain strong if the people let it. For we must consider that we shall be as a city upon a hill. We have not been the city upon a hill. We have not been this type of model, and we have not been present in the lives of God's children for a while. We have not been a priority. Among the youngest adults surveyed by Pew, those born between 1990 and 1996, believers was just 80%.
We have seen what happens when religion is a central part of a community. Take the Massachusetts Bay Colony, for example. Their people were subjected to living a religious life, and it wasn't until Roger Williams fought for freedom of consciousness that they became free.
It is true that the Massachusetts Bay Colony did fail, but by learning from their mistakes, religion should be present and prominent in the people's lives, in whatever practice or form that keeps them close to God.
Government has been shown to be more crucial than belief. For example, in John Winthrop's A Model of Christian Charity, Winthrop tried to tie religion into their government. He said, "He ratified this covenant and sealed our commission, and will expect a strict performance of the articles contained in it." He wanted everything to follow the commandments in order to stay in God's good favor. However, he did not realize that the people practice their religion in different ways, and these different ways don't always agree, which is why religion should stay out of the government.
We need to remember that God is not just going to return to heaven due to us making a new government on earth. We need to have the humans understand the mistakes they have made in the past and start by addressing them. The most important way is by promoting diversity everywhere and accepting everyone.
It is important to accept everyone for an economy to properly function. For example, in Angels of America, Roy Cohn poses a threat to the economy due to his position of power and his prejudice against gay males. He tells Joe that he wants you to go home with your wife. Whatever else you got going, cut it dead. As a man with political power, therefore he has great influence on the public. Roy empowered prejudice against gay men through his political position. For an economy to properly function and communicate, it must lack prejudice.
Diversity isn't the key to a good society. Like Lewis said in Angels in America, power is the object, not being tolerated. But I mean, in spite of all this, the thing about America, I think, is that ultimately we're different from every other nation on earth, with people here of every race. Ultimately, what defines us isn't race, but politics. Government is the defining factor in our country.
Diversity isn't the key to society, so think about this. The humans themselves have addressed some of the most horrific acts of man that were issues of diversity, but they still continue to occur. In 1982, the American people turned a blind eye to the breakout of AIDS. They purposely intended to, based on the fact that it was affecting a population of people they did not care about. Over 600,000 people died, and the government that's supposed to help its people only helped people that they deemed worthy of help. The president himself supported the notion of making a mockery of AIDS. Diversity has to be one of our highest priorities to address in this new society. The example I provided is only a minor one, too. I could have talked about the genocide of people of the Jewish faith and the Holocaust, which was the mass murder of some 6 million European Jews, and there are thousands of other examples I could go into.
It is difficult to fit everybody's needs in such a diverse society, having so many widely accepted religions, sexes, etc. I agree that diversity is a good thing, but there is no one political party that can fit the needs of every single person out there. So instead, a political party is chosen in an election to suit the majority of people.
I understand you cannot always please everyone, but my point is, before we can even talk about the government, we have issues to address. Keeping in mind the question, who cares for who? Before you can say the government needs to care for the people need to be able to care for each other. That will make the government stable. This is clearly represented in the play Angels in America that is written by Tony Kushner. There is a scene in the play where a nurse is being verbally assaulted in dealing with someone who he does not have to for the benefit of others. After Belize, the nurse, is harassed by Roy Cohn, Roy says, "Now you can have a bottle, but only one." Belize takes a bottle of the pills, then he takes another, then a third. This is how people should base their actions, in the interest of everyone. That is the right way of promoting diversity. Belize is a good model of how people should uphold their values.
Religion should be widely accepted, I agree. No religious group should be rejected if they worship God. During the Holocaust, Jewish people were taken and turned into slaves because of their religion. No religion that worships God should be oppressed. It should be tolerated and even celebrated.
The Holocaust happened because there was a tyranny in Germany, which allowed Hitler to rise as a dictator. If Germany had a stronger government, this terrible mark on history would not exist.
Economic trade provides stability throughout the world and is beneficial for diplomatic ties. Every party involved benefits from interaction and trade. Having enough money to provide protection for their citizens is an important aspect of safety. When countries fail to communicate and trade, humans experience conflict. However, there are negative impacts of trade in some circumstances. For example, you see the harm to humanity trade caused in the novel Tituba by Maurice Condé. The slave trade is an example of an economic transaction that drove God away from heaven.
I agree with everything you said, except for the statement about economic trade. Yes, economic trade does help to provide stable relationships. Nothing will be able to improve diplomatic ties more than the promotion of diversity. If we can have people of every nationality and race living in harmony, imagine the good man will accomplish together.
But the way that our economy can effectively make money is by working together. Protection for the people is the easiest when they stay together and work in groups. Without the government, the people would be living for themselves and the economy would fail. Government creates laws dictating the proper relationships between citizens. It stipulates that theft, murder, assault, and a number of other actions are illegal. Government establishes consequences for those who violate these laws and enforces its laws through the police and the military. In this way, the government keeps the peace and holds everybody together.
You say without the government, people will be living for themselves and the economy would fail. Government creates laws dictating the proper relationships between citizens. You need to think about the question, who should have power? The people on earth have the power. They need to promote diversity and come together to form a government to best suit all people and still conform with our rules. The point being, though, these people that you say would live for themselves without government will actually live for themselves without diversity.
The government plays an important role in structuring the economy. They hold the responsibility of preserving diplomatic ties and world peace. The interaction between different nations is influential on the economy. The economy plays a significant role in world peace. The economy was a significant factor in catastrophes such as the Holocaust. The Holocaust was fueled partially by the exploitation of Jewish property and possessions that far-sighted enterprise enabled the SS to become a state within a state, industrially and economically, as well as politically and militarily. Economic stress in these types of situations may cause unrest among governments and their people that often leads to conflict.
While the economy is an important factor, you cannot deny that religion and belief should be of the highest importance in this world. Economies can fail, religion and belief cannot be shaken or fail. It is unable to be broken, the strongest force. But if our hearts shall turn away, so that we will not obey, but shall be seduced and worship other gods, our pleasure and profits, and serve them, it is propounded unto us this day. We shall surely perish out of the good land whither we possess over this vast sea to possess it.
Okay, you guys, it is clear that we all have different views on what's important here, but we really do need to join together if we want to lure God back to earth. Arguing back and forth will get us nowhere, so what should we do?
I agree. All of our ideas are important, and we all prove strong points, but we need to find a way to integrate all of our ideas so that they work together. I think God will admire this if we achieve it.
Obviously, we need all of us in order to make the society work. So, a combination of all of our ideas should make everything work out, because overall we do keep the people in mind, which is what is important. Figuring out how much of each of us will be the difficult part.
I think for religious purposes and practices, if religion is integrated into everyone's life, however they want to practice it, then God will be pleased.
I think, as far as safety goes, that we need a government in order to keep all of the people safe and secure.
Economy is also important because it will help the United States keep relations with other countries, provide stability, and it will ensure that the people in this country have the goods they need in order to survive and thrive.
Diversity is important so that the people have the freedom to be themselves. Our country, workplaces, and schools consist of different cultural, racial, and ethnic groups. So it is important that we be accepting of all differences amongst our people.
Together, we can lure God back. We must care for the people in regards to safety and self-freedom. I know that we all disagree at certain points, but I am glad that we could all come together for the interest of God and the people.